Good morning, everyone. Imagine being thrown into a storm so fierce you can't see a way out. You're struggling, falling, questioning everything. Sound familiar? That's adversity. But here's the truth: storms don't last forever. And what if I told you that the fiercest storms create the strongest people? I'm here to tell you a story, not just mine, but yours, a story of pain, resilience, and most importantly, triumph. By the end of this talk, you'll not only believe that you can rise above anything, but you'll know with every fiber of your being. Life throws punches. Maybe it's a lost job, a broken relationship, a failed dream, or an unexpected challenge that feels bigger than you. But here's the good news: adversity is not your enemy, it's your greatest teacher. Adversity has a way of testing us in ways we never imagined, doesn't it? It shows up uninvited, shakes the foundation of everything we hold on to, and forces us to face our fears head on. But here's the extraordinary truth: adversity is not the final chapter. It's the turning point, the moment where the real story begins. Think about the times in your life when you felt like giving up, when the weight of the world pressed so heavily on your shoulders that it was hard to even take the next step. Maybe it was a dream that crumbled, a loved one you lost, or a battle within yourself that no one else could see. In those moments, it's easy to feel small, defeated, and even powerless. But let me tell you this: the very fact that you're here, that you've made it this far, is proof that there's an unstoppable spirit inside you. The unstoppable spirit doesn't mean you won't feel pain, fear, or doubt. It doesn't mean the road ahead will be smooth or that challenges will magically disappear. No, being unstoppable means you keep moving forward, even when every part of you wants to stop. It means looking at the mountain ahead of you, not with despair, but with determination, knowing that every step you take brings you closer to the summit. Adversity often tricks us into believing we're alone in our struggles. But here's the beauty of it: when you face a challenge, you're not just fighting for yourself, you're fighting for every person who looks up to you, every soul who will one day be inspired by your courage to keep going. Your spirit, your resilience becomes a beacon of hope for others. Now, you might be thinking, I don't feel unstoppable, I feel broken, and that's okay. Brokenness doesn't mean failure. In fact, it's through our cracks that light can shine through. The unstoppable spirit isn't about being unbreakable. It's about picking up the pieces and rebuilding stronger than before. Some of the greatest achievements in history were born out of adversity. People who were told you can't turn those words into fuel to prove they could. When you dig deep and embrace that unstoppable spirit within, you realize that failure is not falling, it's staying down. The true triumph is in getting back up again and again, no matter how many times life knocks you over. So when adversity strikes, remind yourself this is not the end. This is the moment you discover how strong you truly are. This is where you rise. Your spirit is unstoppable. All it takes is one step forward and then another. Keep moving, keep believing, because your triumph over adversity is not just possible, it's inevitable. Your mindset is the most powerful tool you have when facing adversity. It's not the circumstances that define you, but how you respond to them. Life throws challenges at everyone. It's part of being human. But while some people are crushed by their difficulties, others rise above them, stronger and more determined. What's the difference? It's all in how they think. When challenges come, it's natural to feel overwhelmed. The initial reaction might be fear, frustration, or even hopelessness. But in that moment, you have a choice, a simple yet profound decision that shapes everything that follows. Will you let this situation control you, or will you take control of your mindset? This is where the battle is won or lost. Your thoughts are powerful. If you tell yourself, I can't do this, your actions will follow that belief. You'll stop trying, stop looking for solutions, and eventually accept defeat. But what happens if you flip the script? What if, instead of focusing on the impossibility of the situation, you ask yourself, what can I do? What's one step I can take right now? Suddenly, you open the door to possibilities. Your mind shifts from limitation to opportunity. It's not about ignoring reality or pretending everything is fine. Adversity is real, and it's hard. But it's also temporary. A fixed mindset sees adversity as a dead end, a wall you can't climb. A growth mindset sees it as a challenge to overcome, an obstacle that can teach you, shape you, and even prepare you for something greater. Think about this: every great achievement, every story of triumph starts with someone refusing to give up. They chose to believe that their circumstances didn't define their future. They decided that even if the odds were stacked against them, they could still find a way forward. And it all started with their mindset. When you approach adversity with the belief that you can grow from it, you unlock strength you didn't know you had. You stop seeing failure as the end and start seeing it as a stepping stone. Every setback becomes a lesson, every obstacle a test of your determination. You realize that adversity isn't there to stop you, it's there to build you. Your thoughts create your reality. If you see yourself as a victim, you'll stay stuck. But if you see yourself as capable, resilient, and resourceful, you'll find a way to keep going. This shift doesn't happen overnight, and it's not always easy. But every time you choose to focus on what you can do instead of what you can't, you take a step closer to triumph. So remember this, your circumstances don't define you, but your mindset does. You have the power to rise above any challenge, not because it's easy, but because you've chosen to believe you can. And that choice, that mindset, is where true strength begins. Pain is something none of us can avoid. It's a universal experience, one that doesn't care about our background, status, or ambitions. Whether it's the heartbreak of losing a loved one, the frustration of a failed dream, or the physical exhaustion of pushing past your limits, pain comes in many forms. But here's the powerful truth: pain doesn't have to break you. It can actually become the very thing that strengthens you, that shapes you into a person capable of achieving incredible things. Think about the most inspiring people you know, or even the ones you've read about in history. Every single one of them faced hardship. Every single one of them had moments where they thought about quitting. But what set them apart was their ability to turn that pain into something productive. They didn't let it defeat them. They used it as fuel to move forward, to grow, and to push through the darkest times. This isn't to say that pain isn't real or that we should simply ignore it. On the contrary, we need to acknowledge our pain, understand it, and allow ourselves to feel it. But the key is not to let pain become a permanent place to reside. It's a chapter in our story, not the end of it. The most extraordinary people don't run from pain, they learn from it. They use it as a stepping stone, a foundation upon which they build their strength. When pain strikes, it's easy to feel like you've lost control. But the truth is, even in our most difficult moments, we still have a choice. We can choose how we respond to pain. We can allow it to drown us, to make us bitter and resigned, or we can transform it into a powerful motivator. Pain has a way of revealing what we're really made of. It forces us to dig deeper, to find resilience we didn't know we had. It asks whether we will stay down or whether we will rise stronger than before. It's through pain that we learn the most about ourselves. We discover our limits and then we break through them. We discover our capacity for strength, for perseverance, for love, and for kindness. We discover that we're not just capable of surviving, we're capable of thriving. We're capable of thriving. Every challenge you face, every painful moment is an opportunity to rewrite your story. Instead of letting the pain define you, choose to redefine the pain. You are not your struggles. You are not the hardship you've endured. You are the person who chose to get back up, who chose to learn, to grow, and to keep moving forward. Think of the greatest achievements in your life. They didn't come from the times when things were easy. They came from the moments when you were pushed to your limits, when you had to face your darkest fears, and when you found the courage to keep going. It was in those moments of pain that you found your true strength. Pain is inevitable, but how you respond to it is up to you. You can allow it to weaken you, or you can use it to power your growth. The choice is yours, and when you choose to transform your pain into power, you unlock a potential within yourself that is limitless. Every time we face adversity, it can feel like we're stuck in the storm with no way out. We can't always see the purpose in the struggle, and at times it seems like the weight of it all is too much to bear. But what if I told you that every hardship, every setback, every painful moment you go through is not meaningless? What if there is a purpose in your struggles that you can't see yet, a lesson in the pain, a strength waiting to be discovered? Adversity, when faced with the right mindset, becomes the very thing that gives meaning to your journey. When life challenges us, it forces us to stop and evaluate what really matters. We're confronted with what we value most: our health, our relationships, our dreams, and we have to ask ourselves, what is truly important here? That's when the true purpose of the struggle starts to reveal itself. The struggles teach us about ourselves and about life. They give us an opportunity to grow, to dig deeper into who we are, and to uncover the parts of us that we didn't even know existed. Think about the moments in your life when things didn't go as planned, the times when you felt defeated, lost, or unsure of the future. Those moments were not wasted. They shaped who you are today. Every obstacle was a lesson. Every hardship was an invitation to become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Those struggles didn't just happen to you, they happened for you to help you become the person you are meant to be. Often we look at adversity as something that needs to be avoided or defeated. We want to run from it, to wish it away. But the truth is, the most transformative periods of growth in our lives come from the hardest times. Adversity forces us to dig deep, to reevaluate our path, and to find a purpose bigger than ourselves. Without it, we would never learn what we're capable of. Without the struggle, we wouldn't understand the depth of our own strength. Look at some of the most successful people in history. Many of them faced enormous adversity, whether in the form of personal loss, failure, or setbacks. What set them apart wasn't that they avoided adversity. It was that they found meaning in it. They recognized that their struggles were part of their story, part of the process that would ultimately lead them to greatness. They didn't see hardship as a barrier. They saw it as an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to build the resilience they would need for future success. In every challenge you face, there is meaning to be found. It might not be obvious at first, but if you take the time to reflect, to learn from your struggles, you'll begin to see how each experience contributes to the bigger picture. Your pain becomes the foundation for your growth, your wisdom, and your eventual success. Adversity doesn't just test you, it shapes you. It shapes your character, your values, and your perspective on life. And when you can embrace this truth, you stop seeing your struggles as obstacles and start seeing them as stepping stones, as opportunities to uncover the deeper meaning and purpose in your life. When you rise above adversity, something incredible happens. Not only do you find strength and resilience within yourself, but you also become a beacon for others who are struggling. The impact of your triumphs goes far beyond your own life. It has the power to inspire, uplift, and guide others through their own darkest moments. The truth is, we are all interconnected, and when you face your challenges with courage and perseverance, you create a ripple effect that touches the lives of those around you. Think about the people who have inspired you throughout your life. These are the individuals who didn't just survive their struggles, but who thrived because they chose to rise above. Their stories are not just about their own success, but about how their journey helped others see that they too could overcome whatever challenges they were facing. Whether it's a family member, a mentor, or a public figure, the people who inspire us are often the ones who have faced the greatest adversity and still found a way to push through. They are the ones who prove that hardship doesn't have to define us, it can fuel us to achieve greatness. You may think that your struggles are too personal, too insignificant to have an impact on others. But the reality is that your story matters. The way you choose to face adversity influences those around you more than you might realize. When you share your experience, when you demonstrate that it is possible to rise above, you give others permission to do the same. Your resilience becomes a light in the darkness for someone else who might be struggling to see the way forward. It's not always easy to be that person. Sometimes the weight of your own challenges can make it feel impossible to consider the impact on others. But remember, you don't have to have everything figured out. You don't need to be perfect. What matters is that you show up, keep going, and continue to live with intention. Your determination and strength serve as a living example of what's possible, and that alone can make a profound difference in someone else's life. In fact, by rising above your own difficulties, you're not only building your own character, you're teaching others how to build theirs. Your journey becomes a lesson in resilience and hope and in the power of never giving up. And that's the beauty of it. Your triumph over adversity is not just for you, it's for the world around you. You are creating a legacy one act of courage at a time. This ripple effect extends to everyone in your circle, the people who see how you handle life's challenges, the ones who witness your strength and resilience, and the ones who benefit from the inspiration you provide. Your triumphs become a collective victory, not just for you, but for the entire community you are a part of. By choosing to rise above adversity, you not only change your own life, but you help shape the lives of others in ways you may never even fully understand. Your impact, your resilience, your triumphs, these are the gifts you give to the world. And the more you rise, the more you help others rise with you. When you refuse to give up, you shatter the limitations that others have placed on you and the ones you've placed on yourself. The most extraordinary thing happens when you stop believing in your limits and start believing in your ability to break through them. We all have limitations. Some are real, and some are merely perceptions, but here's the key: limitations only hold you back if you let them. When you challenge those boundaries, when you refuse to accept them as truth, you unlock a whole new realm of possibility. At some point, everyone faces a moment where they are told they can't, or where they feel like they've reached the peak of what they can do. Whether it's society, family, or even our own inner voice, the world often tries to define what we are capable of. But the greatest successes in history weren't achieved by those who accepted their limitations. They were achieved by those who chose to see beyond them. They chose to believe that their potential wasn't defined by their current circumstances, by their past failures, or by other people's expectations. They understood that true growth comes from stepping out of your comfort zone and daring to aim higher than you thought was possible. In many ways, we are all bound by invisible chains made of fear, self-doubt, and past disappointments. But what happens when you decide not to let those chains control you? What happens when you stand up and refuse to let your fears dictate what you can or cannot do? You begin to break free. You challenge your comfort zone and discover that what you once thought impossible is not only possible, but achievable. The moment you decide to push through your limitations, you tap into a reservoir of strength and resilience that you didn't know you had. Think about the moments in your life when you've had to break through personal boundaries. Maybe it was an obstacle that seemed insurmountable or a goal that appeared out of reach. But when you decided to keep going, to push through even when it seemed impossible, something amazing happened. You learned that you were stronger than you thought. You learned that limitations are often just stepping stones, not obstacles. They exist to test us, to challenge our resolve, and to force us to find new ways of thinking, of doing, and of being. The truth is, your potential is limitless if you refuse to accept the limits that have been imposed on you. The world might tell you no, but you get to decide whether you believe that or whether you choose to rewrite the narrative. You get to decide that no matter how many times you fail, no matter how many challenges you face, you will not stop. You will keep going. You will continue to push through, and in doing so, you will break every single barrier in your path. And here's what's truly incredible. When you break your own limitations, you also help others see that they can do the same. By choosing to rise above, you show others what is possible, encouraging them to challenge their own boundaries and to pursue their dreams with the same determination and resilience. Your refusal to give up doesn't just change your life, it has the power to change the lives of those around you as well. When you break through your limitations, you become the proof that limits are meant to be broken. You become the living testament that there is no obstacle too great, no challenge too hard, and no dream too distant. And that is the real power of not giving up the ability to transform not only your own life, but to inspire others to do the same.